Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and I've got a fantastic video for you guys today. Bitcoin went on a really nice pump today, and I want to go ahead and talk about one of the reasons why we could have seen this happen today. Be sure to smash that like button, hit that subscribe, follow me on X, and we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So Bitcoin up over 3% today, going to 43,000, almost 500. If we take a look what this looks like on our TA, we can see here is that Bitcoin has pushed past resistance here at 42,300 and has already gone past the next resistance level here at about 43,300. So this level of resistance looks like it just got taken out recently. We saw a large amount of buying come in earlier in the morning, and that pushed the price all the way from about 42K all the way up to about 43K. Now, we've had some seriously positive news over the past couple of days, and I want to go ahead and cover that next. So we have here is Bitcoin finally being allowed to be advertised on Google. So Google is going to allow advertising for Bitcoin spot ETFs. That was supposed to happen today, okay? This is just kind of one of those banner headlines that I think really lends itself to how incredible the adoption for Bitcoin has been, because I remember when Google rolled out these bans originally, and I thought this was kind of heavy-handed, but now we're starting to see a little bit of a backpedal go on here, and especially as you have companies like BlackRock roll out their spot ETFs, they're going to be throwing money at Google and other advertisers to try to get people to come in and use their ETFs instead of their competitions. So that's one bit of positive news. We also had very positive news coming out of China as well, specifically Hong Kong. You actually had a Chinese fund that is filing for a Bitcoin spot ETF in Hong Kong. Now, this is particularly notable because of the fact that China has been so hostile to Bitcoin over the last couple of years. You guys will remember that in 2021, they banned Bitcoin mining, but now we're starting to hopefully see a new face. Hopefully they turn a new leaf in how they deal with Bitcoin. So we'll have to see how this progresses. We'll see whether or not it actually winds up getting approved or not. But really, we've seen kind of a floodgates open up right now with the US approving Bitcoin spot ETFs. And we're probably going to wind up seeing more countries doing the exact same. So in addition to that, we have some other interesting news when it comes to Bitcoin spot ETFs. So James Seyffart on X shared this very interesting amount of data that he's been gathering over the last trading days that we've had so far for all these Bitcoin spot ETFs. And what you can see here is that over 11 days, there's been a pretty nice outflow from GBTC of about $5 billion, okay? This has been money taken out of GBTC. And if you compare this with the inflows here with IBIT, which is BlackRock's and Fidelity's, we can see if you add up all the additional inflows coming in from the other ETFs, that would actually put us at almost even. However, inflows right now are about $759 million. So far, what we've seen is from these Bitcoin spot ETFs, we've seen $750 million worth of money coming into those ETFs. And the reason why that's important is because with these spot ETFs, as money comes in, they are required to go and buy Bitcoin. They are required to buy Bitcoin and custody it with Coinbase or another custodian, and then that pushes the price up for Bitcoin. Now, we've seen Bitcoin make some pretty massive jumps over the past 24 hours. And so we're actually starting to see, I believe, some demand flow in from those Bitcoin spot ETFs. And the largest one so far, as we've seen, has been the IBIT iShares Bitcoin Trust owned by BlackRock and Larry Fink. BlackRock is driving Bitcoin momentum. They're driving Bitcoin demand with these spot ETFs. So now that Bitcoin is actually above the previous resistance levels that we've seen so far, we have to see confirmation of it moving here above 43,300. But currently, where it is, I'm actually feeling fairly bullish because if you actually go ahead and we'll bring up the daily here, we can see that you've seen Bitcoin challenge these resistance points and blow past these resistance points and hold support. So now what that's telling me is that the momentum has shifted the opposite way. We've seen a trend change, and it's much more likely that we're going to wind up seeing Bitcoin go and challenge the next level of resistance, which I believe is probably going to wind up being at about, let me put this up here. It's going to be at about 44,300. That's going to be your next resistance point currently. And if Bitcoin can overcome that resistance, then we're going all the way back up to 47K. I have no doubt that we're going to actually wind up pushing even higher after that point. The momentum has shifted, and now Bitcoin is more on an uptrend, which is kind of a shame because I was hoping for another opportunity to buy under 40K, but we've had multiple opportunities to buy under 40K over, say, the last 6 months or so. So if you guys have gotten in under 40K, congrats. And if you're still waiting for an entry, then I would say just remain patient. Not financial advice, but these dips will eventually happen. Bitcoin doesn't just go straight up into the sky. It has to pull back. It has to consolidate. It has to dip. And sellers are going to come in eventually. They're going to step in eventually and push the price down, as well as having FUD. And any sort of setbacks in the crypto universe will usually knock Bitcoin down a little bit and give you a much better entry. So in addition to that, if we go ahead and take a look at our futures contracts, we can see that over that 2-hour span in which those buyers showed up and pushed the price all the way up to about 43K, we had about $14 million worth of short liquidations in 1 hour and $5 million worth of short liquidations in the other hour. So about $20 million of shorts got burned on that move up, and that's one of the reasons why we saw Bitcoin move up so high. Now, going back to the iShares Bitcoin Trust, right, the IBIT, we can actually see the volume for this. This is BlackRock's Bitcoin spot ETF is now at 18,900,000. If we compare that to Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust, that's at 14,900,000. So it really looks like right now IBIT is winning this race when it comes to multiple asset classes and trying to figure out which Bitcoin spot ETF will be left standing. I do believe it's probably likely to be BlackRock because of the expense ratios, because of the name and the space. And it just so happens that right now it's driving a lot of the price action that we've seen so far. Now, you've seen these actually improve on the day. We've actually started at about $24 and ended about $24.67. And it's likely that we'll continue to see these move up as they track the price of the actual Bitcoin itself. So the next thing I want to talk about is what's going on this week. And this is a really, 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 really important week. We have earnings from big tech happening, especially tomorrow, Tuesday after the close. You have Microsoft, AMD, Alphabet all reporting. And then on Thursday, you have Apple, Amazon, and Meta reporting. So you're getting all the big tech stocks reporting this week, and that can always have a price. That can always have an effect on the Bitcoin price or on crypto prices, especially if any of these companies start talking about getting into crypto or buying into these ETFs. Very interesting. We can definitely see it move on that news. All right. So keep your eyes peeled. This is going to be a very important week going on for just finance in general, especially when it comes to these companies' earnings. And then if we go and take a look at our economic calendar, we can see that Tuesday we have consumer confidence, we have job openings. Wednesday, very important, Fed rate decision. There's FOMC going on January 31st, and hopefully the Fed will keep things the way they are. They'll keep the rates currently where they are, which I think is probably going to be the most likely case. It's very possible that they could actually wind up lowering rates in the next meeting. That's something I'll be looking out for, and if they do, then that will be very bullish. But just keeping them currently at where they are, I think that's the expectation currently with the Fed interest rate decision. Now, Thursday, jobless claims, productivity, ISM manufacturing, Friday, non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate. Okay, this one's really important, unemployment rate. The projection for this is going to be 3.8%, and then so that would be an increase from the last period, the last reporting period, which was 3.7% for the last month. So this hopefully will stay where it is currently, or maybe even move down a little bit from 3.7%. That would be also very bullish, showing the economy is strong and not heading into a recession. That is not what we want to see. We don't want to see the economy heading into a recession. Crypto is not going to do particularly well in a recession. Bitcoin will do as Bitcoin does. But we need to have, broadly speaking, we need to avoid recession if possible. So there's really, really important events going on this week. I definitely recommend that you guys go and look at all these events coming up and seeing if they could affect you financially. And I will be covering any more big Bitcoin moves that we've seen this week so far. And I'll be talking to you guys about any sort of update whatsoever on some Bitcoin information, anything we've talked about, especially if China actually approves those Bitcoin spot ETFs. Big news, absolutely massive, very bullish for Bitcoin. But anyways, I will catch you guys on the next video.